You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 19.
Yep.
I'm Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Spencer Valdez.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Spencer.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about our webcomic of the week.
Our webcomic of the week is titled JL8.
JL8?
Yes. Justice League. And I think the 8 stands for their age.
Oh.
Yeah. It's ridiculously cute comic by Yale Stewart. He does the writing and the drawing for the comic. And it's basically the Justice League as little kids in class.
See, that's pretty cool. I mean, that sounds kind of like Tiny Titans, you know, in a couple of those books they've got over at DC. They're kind of kids line.
Yeah.
But those are really fun books, too.
Yeah.
So if somebody's digging those, maybe this would be something they want to check out.
Definitely, yeah.
Right on.
It's fun. It's so cute. I want to puke. It's funny. Batman broods for the first couple comics, and it is. I mean, they've got the characters down for when they were little kids.
That's cool.
Like, yeah.
It's like, instead of Muppet Babies, it's Justice League Babies.
Yeah.
Yay!
I remember that cartoon.
Yes, I
sometimes do get me with your references, but I got that one.
Yeah, I stymie you like, what is that even? But okay.
Yeah.
I also remember Muppet Babies. Good. So what's the web address for that?
The web address is kind of weird. It's Limbero. So I'm going to just spell it out for you. It's LIMBERO.org.
Yes.
That's .org, not .com or .net. It's .org.
.org. It sounds very official.
Yeah. It's funny. Check it out. Like always, we'll post it to the Comic Reflections Facebook page.
Indeed.
And you will get your comic this week.
Yeah. So, Spencer, I couldn't go, but you went to Rose City Comic Con this weekend.
I did go, and it was excellent. First year of Portland Comic Con.
Is this your first comic convention ever?
This is my first Comic Con ever. I was a virgin up until this point. And
I haven't been to one in years, and I was amped to go to this one, but the money wasn't there, and but yeah.
It was excellent. There were probably 6 to 8 comic vendors, and so you just had rows and rows of back issues.
Oh, nice!
Cheap back issues. They were bigger booths, and so
a few vendors, but lots and lots of books.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you found some cool deals. What did you end up with?
I ended up picking up a Justice Society 8-shot.
Oh, that limited series
from
the 80s. Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Which I'm excited to read, featuring one of the society members per book, and it is awesome.
Oh, it's one. Each one is kind of more
featuring the Flash, featuring.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So it's not an 8-issue story arc.
I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's
I'd be curious. I really would like to read that.
Yeah.
So.
I picked that up. I picked up a Birds of Prey.
Is that a limited series?
Yeah, it's a Catwoman, Huntress, Black Canary, and Oracle.
Oh, okay.
All kind of working together.
Oh, groovy.
So the younger women of the Justice League.
Yeah. Well, Bat Family. I wouldn't say Justice League. Yeah. Although you said Catwoman. Catwoman's going to be in that new Justice League of America book.
That's exciting.
Yes, that book I'm really, really excited about. So, but sorry, I don't want to interrupt the story.
I went. It was awesome. There's cool booths. A lot of independent stuff there.
Yeah.
And they're all really cool people.
Yeah.
Axe Cop was there.
Oh yeah, gosh, that's such a great comic.
Yeah. Which it came out last month, and their second issue came out this month.
Oh, of the current limited series, yeah.
Yeah. And so I talked to that guy a little bit. He was. I mean, all these guys are really cool.
Well,
they just want you to read their comic and.
If you work in comics, you're not a square.
Right.
So,
and I have proof because I met Matt Fraction.
Oh, you met Matt Fraction.
I did.
Somebody said, you said you were waiting in line to talk to Rucka, and that wasn't happening because
he was
just being swarmed.
Yeah. And so I went around the corner.
Like Rob Liefeld, circa 1993. Sorry. But
we went around the corner, and I barely noticed his booth. It's just one small little table, and he was sitting there kind of when I went by himself.
Yeah.
Just kind of hanging out, looking around, and
man,
I looked down at his table and it says Matt Fraction. I'm like, I'm reading his comics right now.
Yeah, because he's writing books we read. I mean, he's writing the Mighty Thor right now.
Yep.
He's writing Invincible Iron Man.
Yep.
And he's writing that great new Hawkeye book. So, I think it's way cooler you talk to Matt Fraction than had you talk to Rucka. Yeah. Although I'm sure he's cool too.
We're reading Punisher, but I mean, I am crazy about these Hawkeye books.
Yeah, I'm really digging them too.
And
so.
we got one for today. So
so we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, and I mean we've talked a little bit about how we like comics being done with the one story with the over arc.
Yeah, it's like you pick up an issue and it can be kind of a self-contained story, but there's a lead in from what happened previously and lead out, so to speak, for what's going on.
Right.
That's good. You get that serialization that makes you want to pick up the book again, but it's not like, you can just pick up an issue and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that's great.
And so I kind of talked to him about that a little bit, and I mean, I was the only one around for like 10 minutes, so I got to talk a little bit with him.
That's really cool.
And he agrees that that's how he wants to be writing comics, and that's how he's writing Hawkeye right now.
Right on.
Which is awesome.
He's going to be writing Fantastic Four in the Marvel Now stuff coming up. I'm really excited about that book because you know how we've been like, meh, about...
Maybe I'll give the Fantastic Failures.
I'm picking it up, no question.
Right.
Okay, so you'll be reading it, damn it. And so... I'm thinking that book's gonna be loads of fun.
Yeah, and he's been great in the stuff we've been reading right now. So, awesome dude. I got my book signed, my Hawkeye #1 signed, which was
nice.
Awesome of him. Just cool guy. I got to talk to him a little bit about the Mandarin and Sir Ben Kingsley being the Mandarin, and he used some explicit language, and we'll keep that out.
Yeah,
but he thinks. Sir Ben can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, and we'll paraphrase it like that.
Yeah, and that he's doing the more in the new Iron Man. They're doing the more CEO looking Mandarin rather than the capes and the flowing.
Yeah, the old mess. Mandarin costume was a mess. It never looked really cool. Oh, he definitely looks like a supervillain, but he looked kind of like Dr. Fu Manchu with a purple a masquerade mask, and it looked really bad.
Right. But I mean,
I don't know.
Back to Hawkeye for a moment. He gave me some insight onto the next couple comics that are going to be coming out with it, and
let's not give spoilers, but some cool things happening.
Yeah, cool things happening. Cool, interesting storylines.
Yeah.
And he said no story is going to go past 2 books.
Cool.
Yeah.
There's
an arc there because that's how you sell books. But no story is going to be more than 2 books.
So he's not going to be doing these big 6-part things. Well, so good. We probably won't be seeing any crossovers into the,
Probably not, either. But...
Those get really tedious, and I'm glad that those seem to be, they're not the big thing that they were, a decade or so ago, and I'm glad.
We'll always have our... Green Lantern, Green Arrow crossover.
Sure. Well, I just mean, what are we talking about? We're gearing up for the third Rise of the Third Army across all the Green Lantern books, but that's pretty cool,
And it's Jeff Johns, so we don't have to worry about
Jeff Johns and Peter Tomasi.
Tomasi, yeah.
And that guy is really good too. Right.
Anyway, that was my experience at Comic-Con. It was wonderful.
Rose City Comic-Con. Yeah.
I said I'd give a shout out to my friend Logan for driving me to get my comic.
Well, that was very cool.
Logan,
you should tell that story.
Right, yeah. The first time I saw the table with Matt Fraction, I freaked out because I didn't have my comics with me.
Well, yeah, you didn't know he was going to be there.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was going to be appearing.
I immediately got really sad because I want, I'm never selling that comic.
Sure.
It's just for me.
Yeah.
It says my name on it.
Yeah.
He wrote my name, it is for me.
Yeah.
And so... my buddy Logan, I had let him borrow it. He drove me back to his house, came back, and we got it signed before. So, Logan, thank you very much. You're awesome.
Yeah, Logan.
But we need to jump into our books this week.
We really do.
Because we have a huge pull.
We do. We did. Zero Month at DC started this week.
It did.
And we've got what do we get? Like 8 books, 8 or 9 zero issues between us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, more than that.
Yeah, at least that many. So anyway,
0 month, awesome. So let's start off with The Phantom Stranger.
This is a highly awaited book, and I was really excited to hear about. This is one of those ones. It's not a current series that's happening. This is the launch for a new series.
Right.
So,
I've been like, he's always been in kind of like a tangent character.
He's always on the periphery in DC Universe stories,
and I think that's kind of his character.
Yeah.
But I am so excited for the rest of this comic because we got his origins, which, I mean, cool origins.
Yeah. And we got a little spoiler, a little introduction to
Jim Corrigan.
Jim Corrigan, the Spectre, just shows up in this, and as far as I know, he hasn't been in the New 52 yet.
Right, and so
not that I've seen.
I mean, great story. It's Dan Didio.
Yeah.
Didio.
I don't know. But I think he's like the editor-in-chief or something like that at DC right now. I think that's right. But anyway, he's a big deal. He's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
The Brent Anderson, the artist on this, I recognize his work, but I can't place what I've seen him. It's really great. I really enjoy this art. It looks like comics that I would read when I was a kid. It looks like a 70s, 80s Marvel or DC Comics kind of artist.
Mm-hmm.
The inks are really strong on this too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it because of all the shadowing and stuff that was done.
Oh yeah. So the inker on this is excellent. So
yeah.
Who is that then? It'll be the name of us on the cover.
Scott Hanna.
Scott Hanna, great job inking.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, story is there, art is there. I'm gonna continue to pick this up.
Yeah, I'm excited to keep reading that. That was a really good book.
This was a kind of a crapshoot for me because I didn't know anything about him before I bought the book. I
don't know much about the Phantom Stranger. Whenever I see him, whenever he's around, it's cool.
Yeah.
That Phantom Stranger, definitely buy. Good book.
Definitely. Next book, Green Lantern #0.
Yes.
The introduction of Baz.
Simon Baz. Yeah. And for months, I saw photos of this guy around. I thought this guy was a black guy.
Yeah.
But, they've just recently kind of like revealed that, he's going to be the first Arab American, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay.
And so, again, we have Jeff Johns writing Green Lantern still.
Yeah, and you don't mess with the Jeff Johns. You don't. You're fine with that.
When they announced that he was going to be an Arab American, my fear was that they were going to be playing up the idea of terrorism and things like that. And, I mean, it has aspects of that, but not so much that it kind of turned me off.
Yeah, it's really what we're seeing is the prejudice of people against Arab Americans, like, oh, they're terrorists.
Yeah.
And so this guy gets accused of that, and we'll just say that. But
and, I mean, the hard thing is that he was a kid when the Twin Towers fell.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's had to live his life in this post 9/11 world where the bad guys are from the Middle East. And so, I mean, that's not just like comic books, that's society stuff.
Right. And so this is grounding this in, our contemporary world. I think it will make, the book, we're already reading Green Lantern anyway, but I think it'll make for interesting reading. Mm-hmm. I don't see this is going to be weak.
Right.
I think, and we'll see a lot of this guy in the Rise of the Third Army.
Yeah,
storyline. I'm sure of it.
I do hope that we get some more Hal Jordan.
Well, we'll find out what happened with the Hal. Hal and Sinestro. But we didn't. Oh, it's old news now. But they say they're dead, but we didn't see them die.
Right.
So
#0.
World's Finest.
World's Finest.
The Huntress and Power Girl.
Yep. Cool story. I've been loving this book for as long as I've been buying it.
Yeah, you've been picking up consistently. So,
and they're only on #4 in the series right now.
Yeah.
But this kind of goes back to where Robin and Supergirl meet.
Right. Before the war with Apocalypse. Right. In Darkseid and stuff.
And so Robin's rushing into a burning building, and Supergirl shows up, kind of save the day.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be obviously become close friends, and I mean, so yeah.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Paul Levitz wrote this,
Mm-hmm.
and Paul's an old timer at DC. I love it when the old timers are still writing books. It's got the feel of classic comics,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the art in it too. This Kevin McGuire.
Kevin McGuire. Yeah, a lot of the Zero issues don't have the regular artist on them.
Yeah.
Which is cool, but also it's like if you're picking up a Zero issue to get a window into what that series is about,
yeah,
maybe it should kind of feel and look like the regular, you know. But
yeah, I get it though. They want to differentiate between Zero Month and the rest of the series.
Sure,
but
because all these Zeros are basically origin issues.
Yeah, and I mean this origin was a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean sad, but fun. Mm-hmm. And we get to see why they became such good friends.
Yeah, and that's real cool.
You want to intro this one?
Oh yeah, Earth 2, number 0. Boy, we got some exciting, information about this book. Currently, I mean, the book has been centering around what looks like the formation of the new Justice Society.
Yeah.
With Green Lantern and the Flash and Hawkgirl and the Atom, and I'm sure more to come. We're seeing the role that Mr. Terrific had, in the war with Apocalypse, and just what really happened there on Earth 2. He is a bad guy. He betrayed the other Wonders, Batman and Wonder Woman and Superman and the rest. And I will just say the fate that we thought those three heavy hitters had been consigned to has been implied in the rest of the book. Maybe not so.
Yeah.
So screw it. They didn't die. They're somewhere else. And so maybe we'll be seeing them return in that book. So maybe the new Justice Society is going to be a new Justice League.
Oh.
And Earth 2 Justice League. You think about it. So I don't know. Who knows? There's some cool things that can be happening. I think that book is just going to get better and better.
Yeah.
So we got Green Lantern not Green Lantern, Green Arrow. I can't believe I just did that.
That's usually a Spencer move there.
I know. Green Arrow number 0. Now, Ann Nocenti wrote this, and I remember her. She did a lot of time over at Marvel.
Uh-huh.
I think she wrote like New Mutants and stuff like that.
Okay.
And Power Pack, if I recall, if that's right. But as much as I like Green Arrow in the original continuity, I'm reading this, and this issue didn't really do it for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's like I feel like I've already had the Oliver Queen as Green Arrow origin.
Mm-hmm.
This is basically that with a couple of new elements. They've got Merlin, his kind of adversary in the comics, the other Archer, but as like his friend, and then things go bad or whatever. But whatever. I wasn't blown out of the water with this. This was the test for me. Like, do I want to be picking up the ongoing? But I'm thinking like, no, I'm just gonna read Green Arrow when he's in the Justice League of America book. Yeah. It's cool. I mean, it's just not garbage, but I just
the story I liked about Ollie Queen was that he learned archery as a necessity.
Yeah.
And this, he was already taking lessons.
Yeah.
And so, it's something that he's already into. And
yeah.
In, the original continuity, he
had to make the bow and all that stuff. Well, it's okay, now he had one, and then he gets marooned on the island. Okay, it's a little different. But, it just didn't pull me in like I wanted it to.
Uh-huh.
Didn't have the hook that I was looking for to say, I want to pick that book up. So,
yeah. 2 books that you picked up that I loved were Animal Man and Swamp Thing.
Yeah, and these 0 issues really tie together strongly, so I think it's right that we talk about them the same time.
2 different authors, which
yeah, Jeff Lemire is writing Animal Man, I think. Yeah, and Scott Snyder, who's also been writing Batman. And that's been an excellent book.
Yeah.
So, why don't you?
Yeah, I had been interested in Animal Man, And so when you said that you were going to be picking up the Zero, I was like, cool.
Yeah. I remember reading the Grant Morrison run, like everyone's read, and it's just wonderful.
Right. And so I went to the library, picked it up, and I mean, like, yes, excellent. And so it gives an origin story in the Grant Morrison one.
Yeah.
And so we're getting a new origin story here.
It just tweaks that a little.
Yeah.
Another dimension to it, and it's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Him as a temporary totem for the Red.
The Red, which is kind of like the living embodiment of all the spirit or the Earth's connection to all animal life.
Right.
If you were a longtime Swamp Thing reader, he's got his deal with the parliament of the trees and the green. He's the avatar of the green and protector of, the Earth. And so, in the New 52, Animal Man and Swamp Thing have these roles where they're to defend, the green and the red, respectively, against the gray, the rot, death.
Right.
And in the main New 52 continuity, Anton Arcane is that avatar of the rot. In Earth 2, it's the new Solomon Grundy.
Yeah.
Grundy. But yeah, I'm really thoroughly enjoying these. I mean, they capture the spirit of the originals of both of these characters, but they're taking it into another level. It's almost like when Grant Morrison revitalized Animal Man, and when Alan Moore took Swamp Thing into this like very more darker and adult and more complicated vein. We're seeing like this is taking that ball and running with it in a great direction.
Yeah. I felt while I was reading this Animal Man, it felt like I'd put down the Animal Man trade that I'm reading, the Grant Morrison one.
Yeah.
And it felt like I just kept reading what I was already reading. It didn't feel like...
This feels like the same Buddy Baker.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the New 52 versions of characters don't feel like the post-crisis pre-New 52 DC characters. So...
Yeah.
And that's one of the weak things about the New 52.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Superman's very different. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I love the dynamic with his family in this issue. I mean, how hard would it be to be the parent or the child or spouse of a superhero?
Especially one whose identity is public.
Absolutely.
That's really dangerous, So, and because I know you're just reading the first volume of Animal Man, the Grant Morrison.
Yeah.
As you go through those trades, you'll know exactly what I mean.
Right.
So.
Let's talk a little more about Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Because we talked about Animal. Swamp Thing, I mean, cool. We are really introduced to Arcane. In this, like, heavily.
Yeah. He's a major deal. And is this your first Swamp Thing?
This is my first Swamp Thing. Yeah.
Oh man, I at least have to lend you the Dark Genesis. The first 10 issues that Bernie Wrightson and Len Wein did together.
Oh yeah, those are great.
And my trade is signed by Bernie Wrightson. Ooh. Yeah, Spencer just did this cocking his head like kind of. I can't even describe that. It's just like, but somebody took that to an appearance that he made and got that signed for me. That was very cool.
Cool.
But anyway, and I encourage you to read the Alan Moore run on Swamp Thing.
Right.
That's all. Yeah. It's all traded, and it's excellent. And yeah.
This honestly, I was surprised that it was just a teen book. Rated teen, because there's a lot of just death in this book.
Well,
and
yeah.
I mean, we're dealing with the rot, so yeah. But I mean, savage death. It's
there's
people being ripped up and things like that. So
yeah, it's a little icky. When Arcane takes the form of Alec Holland's wife, he just puts her skin on. It's like it reminds me of what was that, Hellraiser 2? You ever saw those?
I didn't.
Oh, you failed me for the last time. Again. Yeah. So anyway, I shouldn't even spoil that, but yeah, there's some. It's a great horror book.
Yeah.
But I mean, Swamp Thing was always like a horror book with a difference, and this is really cool. I would be interested in at least picking up the trades of the current series.
Okay.
I don't think I want to hunt down the back issues now.
Right.
But
Oh, so this is a little off topic.
Okay.
However, while I was at Comic-Con today,
back on Comic-Con. Okay.
I saw the coolest book. It was a collection of all of the number ones for the New 52.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it was 52 comics? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Of the first. Okay.
And I mean, it was thick.
So you got a New 52 omnibus.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was cool.
How much is that?
They were running 30% off, so it was $120 with that discount. So yeah.
Well, here's the thing, though. Not all those. It's just like we're not getting every issue from Zero Month.
Right.
It's just like what are we currently reading and like what we were curious about.
Mm-hmm.
But
so we get the Phantom Stranger, we get the Green Arrow,
Yeah.
So. The next thing we have
Detective Comics.
Yeah.
Number 0. You loved this. You couldn't wait to talk about this book. I liked it too.
Because I mean, we have prior. Like, I'm loving the.
This is the Batman in training. It's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
You know.
And I mean the twist at the end, the twist at the end, the reuniting with Alfred.
Oh yeah.
Is I mean, we've talked about Alfred.
Yeah.
I love Alfred.
Me too.
He's one of the reasons I love Batman so much.
So this was cool, and I've been hearing from people that people are not so hot on Detective Comics, the book, here lately, but I think starting after Zero Month, there's a new creative team on there, so I'm curious about giving that book a shot.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is done by the new guys or the current guy, cats who are working on it, because I haven't. This is the first issue of Detective Comics I picked up from the New 52, but this was cool.
Yeah,
I'm always jazzed to read a good Batman story.
Yeah.
So
next we have this Action Comics Superman number 0.
Yeah.
Grant Morrison continuing on this.
What more needs to be said?
Yeah.
It's Grant Morrison. It's gold. It's gold, Jerry. No, I dug this.
Ban
you. Yeah. No, I dug this, and I like the artist on this book, Ben Oliver. He reminds me. I was saying to you, I think we talked over the phone. He reminds me of Jay's. His art kind of looks like Jay Lee's art on Ozymandias, right?
Yeah.
It's really cool. I mean, it looks painted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, very cool story.
And I feel like we got three stories in one. We get the Batman getting a job and realizing his love for Lois and things like that. And then we get the story with the little kid in the cape.
Yeah.
And then we get this continuation of the alien radiation.
The alien future people that are currently going on in Action Comics that we're kind of figuring out.
Yeah.
I
think had we been picking it up from the beginning, we'd
be like, oh,
okay.
So this made that make more sense, and that was good. This was pretty cool.
Yeah, I love his superhero costume. Just the Superman shirt with jeans and boots.
Yeah, I like that. The t-shirt and jeans Superman. That's very cool.
I'm tired of the spandex Superman.
I would take the spandex over the goofy armor thing that he's got now.
Yeah.
So, but what can you do?
Yeah.
So
that's 0 month for us.
For now.
Yeah.
That's the first week of 0 month. We also got Silk from Before Watchmen, the Silk Spectre, number 3. Darwin Cook and Amanda Connor.
Yep.
Still a great book.
Yeah.
I felt like issue 2 was a little bit of a lull, but it's getting right back into it.
Yeah. It makes me realize that I'm happy I wasn't born in the 60s or raised in the 60s. There's a lot of half of the story is an acid trip. I mean, acid just don't do drugs, kids. You will end up dead.
Okay. I mean,
aside from my PSA, the thing I liked most about this book was the good inside look into the comedian.
Yeah, because his limited series is meh.
Yeah.
Azzarello, you fired. But I think we said before, it seems like the Comedians, his unlimited series is definitely the one to skip if you're gonna from the Before Watchmen books.
Right.
But his portrayal and appearances in where he's shown up in the other titles has been great.
Yeah.
Last
week we had Minutemen. He was in Minutemen, and he was, I mean, we saw his douchebagginess and that kind of like growing.
Mm-hmm. And I realized something. When you read the original Watchmen, all his appearances, except for the very beginning, are through flashback. He's just coming around here and there, people recalling him because he's dead. He works better when he's just a flashback. He's just somebody remembering.
Right.
If you're just telling a story of the comedian,
yeah,
not so much, and that's weird.
It is. But I mean, Silk Spectre, she's realizing maybe these drugs she's doing isn't the best thing. One of her friends is hospitalized. Mm-hmm. She starts kicking butt in this one. So,
it's very cool.
Yeah, pick it up.
Yeah. All right.
We are done with DC
for this week. So hey, your pal Matt Fraction has wrote several books that we're going to talk about this week.
Yeah. 3 actually.
Yeah, why don't we rapid fire through those?
We will. Okay, so number 1, Hawkeye number 2.
Yeah, that's number 1, Hawkeye number 2.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
Fraction has done it again with his awesome story.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hawkeye versus the Circus of Crime.
Yeah.
And the Ringmaster, really, stealing from supervillains, which is the dumbest thing to do. It's the more organized crime supervillain types.
Yeah.
The Ringmaster's got the bright idea. He's going to rip off, the Owl, Hammerhead, Tombstone, Madame Mask, and the Kingpin.
Yep.
Not a smart plan.
Never.
So I'm just thinking and he's a known entity. It's like they're gonna kill you.
Yeah.
So, but the plot twists in another direction. But
yeah.
This was really enjoyable reading.
Absolutely.
I'll let you.
I'm happy that I picked up Hawkeye number 1.
Yeah.
It felt like forever after Hawkeye number 1 that this came out, but I think it was just a normal month.
Yeah.
I just liked it so much, that first story, that I
really
wanted another one. And this did not disappoint. And I got his autograph.
Yay! So, and he was a nice guy.
And he was a nice guy.
And we split a peanut butter sandwich. No, kidding. No,
we didn't. But
that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second book that we were reading and I'm picking up is The Invincible Iron Man, The Future Part 4.
Yeah. So Matt Fraction again writing this. So
right. So I talked to him a little bit about it. He said it's going to be 6 or 7 parts. He can't really remember.
Okay.
He's doing other work. So
yeah, he's writing at least 3 books that we're picking up.
Yeah.
So.
And so
it's Matt Fraction week here on the Comic Reflections.
It is.
Okay.
And so this one's great. We're finally starting to get Tony Stark back into a suit.
Yeah, and he's got some supervillains who have allied themselves with him: Blizzard, the Living Laser, and Whirlwind.
Yeah, Whirlwind.
So
Tony's pissed because
PO'd.
The manager's just been fooling around in his brain.
Not cool, man. Not cool.
And so, yeah, I did get to talk to him about Mandarin.
Yeah.
Sir Ben Kingsley is playing Mandarin
in the 3rd motion picture.
Yes, of Iron Man. And I asked him, I was like, so how do you feel about it? He was like, again, explicit language.
Ben Kingsley can do whatever he wants.
That's true. And I asked him, is it going to be, your kind of Mandarin or something? He's like, mine. With the suit and the tie and the CEO look. Not the capes and flip. Yeah.
Yeah, if you've seen the old Mandarin costume, it's just bad looking. At least the Silver Age one is bad. It seems like in the late 80s, early 90s, he had this cool, samurai armor-looking one that was actually really cool. I remember that fondly from the Acts of Vengeance, which I've brought up on the show before.
Right.
But yeah, most of the time Mandarin costumes are stupid.
Right.
So.
But I mean, back to the comic, Mandarin kind of starts to find out that Tony has been working around his,
his brain implants and his monitoring his every move.
Right, and so
and when he finds out, he's mad.
Yeah, he's
surprise.
Very angry.
But it's about to hit the fan. Next issue is going to be a brawl.
Right. Oh, and we have this storyline between Pepper Potts and
Rhodey.
Rhodey
has been filling in for Iron Man till Tony gets back, and Pepper in her own armor. I think she and Rhodes are trying to head out to
China.
To China. No. Oh, that's Japan. Dang it.
Racism.
That's not racism.
The final Fraction book of this week is The Mighty Thor.
And this is part 2 of the Everything Burns crossover that's taking on between Mighty Thor and Journey into Mystery.
Right.
Great art by Alan Davis.
How are you feeling about it?
I'm liking it. There's a lot of characters.
There are.
And this limited series, this crossover is the first time I picked up Thor in some time. So we're kind of figuring out where the book is these days as we're getting into this story. But it's been entertaining. Cool things are happening.
Yeah.
Lots of bravado and stuff always.
Yeah.
But very cool.
Loki confuses me, and I'm liking it. With his...
You're not sure about where his role in this is.
I'm not bad, but I'm not good, and I love characters like that. I mean, and Submariner like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it seems like there's going to be a war between Vanaheim and Asgard. Surtur is coming back, it looks like, and that's going to be bad news.
Absolutely.
Hel has refused to help, or Hela.
Yeah.
From the realm of Hell, Hel, has refused to help Asgardians. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. I'm gonna continue to read it as long as you pick it up.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, how convenient.
Yeah.
So
2 more
Marvel comics.
We have the Amazing Spider-Man, but the cover is kind of dedicated to this Alpha,
the sidekick that we got the introduction to kind of in the last issue.
Yeah, the sidekick. I just want to give a good punch in the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like the Justin Bieber of comic.
Yes. These days. Yes, he is.
But
I think
that was probably the intention.
Yeah, it's got to be because
before he got the powers, he seemed like a pretty good-natured kid.
Quiet.
And then he totally let it go to his head. He's like, now I'm somebody.
And I mean, we get the reasoning behind that because of Peter and MJ, and there's that awesome line in it where it talks about Peter being the Spider-Man that he is, not because Uncle Ben died,
but because
he lived.
Yeah, because of things that he learned from Uncle Ben. Yeah. And Alpha really needs strong guidance.
Right.
Clearly, he parents that basically ignored him.
Well, yeah, and he's getting cash out of it. He's just their cash cow.
He's the Macaulay Culkin of...
He is the Macaulay Culkin of...
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Yeah.
Great extended cameo from the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
This is a cool book. I still want that Hobgoblin story, man.
Yeah.
But
me too.
This is cool.
Yeah.
I'm into what's going on in the book.
We got the Jackal, and he was mentioned...
Oh, yeah, the Jackal.
He was mentioned in that last comic with...
He was. It's weird. I'm like, where's the Jackal been?
Right.
But not that I'm complaining.
Right.
Yeah, but he looks cool in this, so...
He's got a bunch of clones and stuff. And...
Yeah. Yeah, because that's kind of his thing.
Yeah.
Cloning. So.
Interesting. Not a fan of Alpha.
Yeah, he seems like a jerk-faced kid.
I hope that Spider-Man can ring him in.
Well, either he'll be in Spider-Man and then get his own book, and then we could ignore that, or something.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Final Marvel book.
Oh yes, The Punisher, number 15, Greg Rucka.
Right.
The maybe overrated. Rucka. Rucka's got talent, but I'm back to being lost as to what's going on in this book.
Yeah, I don't
I don't want to book like okay great you're very intense on the narrative but like or whatever characterization but can I if I pick up a book a month later and I can't remember what happened last issue
Exactly.
you know like if I'm lost from like and I've been reading the book there's something is wrong there.
Right. I like that Marvel's doing the reminder first page.
You know, that first page of the recap, and you got it with this.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like reading a page from a book more than I'm reading a comic.
Now, in his defense, Rucka's a novelist. And maybe the month-to-month issue of, you know, comic book issue isn't the way he's doing it. Maybe it's breaking it up more than he'd like.
Okay.
Maybe reading this in the trade would be like, wow, this is awesome.
Okay.
You know, I've read some other Rucka things. I read his Superman Unconventional Warfare, which I liked. It was cool. He got Lois Lane into you know, back in action, you know, being a field reporter. And you know, there was some cool things that he did in that book. I read his Ultimate Daredevil and Elektra. And you know how I feel about Ultimate books.
Right.
Dog poopy. And I don't like, I mean, mostly. And I don't like Elektra. He made me care about Elektra. He made me care about an Ultimate book. So Rucka, right. I'm not against him, but I think maybe issue to issue isn't the way to read him.
Right.
Maybe he's a wait for the trade kind of guy. For such a hot writer, you would think.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? But yeah, so that's what's going on with that book.
Yeah.
We talk any of the plot because I don't know what you, but I'm lost again.
Yeah, I mean, people are dying, but it's Punisher. So
yeah, surprise, you know.
We finally have 2 new Valiant books.
Yes, we got. What do you want to talk about? Archer and Armstrong number 2.
Let's do that.
Oh man, I really enjoy this book. I love all these Valiant books. Here's the part of the show where we just sit and gush about Valiant.
Yeah, I think we've done that the last couple.
We do that every episode. They're just great. Just pick up these friggin' Valiant books.
Yeah.
Archer
they deserve
Armstrong.
it. I mean, it's a
this is their fun book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're all really good. This is the one that's a little more fun because Armstrong is this you know, kind of humorous character.
Yeah. When I was reading it, I looked at the front again, and one kind of, I don't know,
review site, some like quote from a review.
Yeah, it said brain rotting propaganda.
I don't know what boing boing is. Yeah. I don't know if that's even a real thing.
But I mean, there is a little kind of nudge to the
far right in America.
Yeah.
We'll just say that.
Yeah.
Those definitely pokes fun at them, and they deserve to be made fun of. So,
yeah, and so we are not a political show, and so we'll leave that out.
You're just ready to just change the subject. So,
yeah, I mean the bad guys are the 1%.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, I get it. I get what you're doing.
Yeah,
you know. But that felt like I was being force fed it. It didn't seem natural to me.
The thing is, because this is the funny book, and I'm air quoting, this is the funny book from Valiant. You know, of course they're going to be a little heavy-handed with satirizing who they're satirizing.
Right.
So, to me, it doesn't really feel forced because that's the feel of the book.
Right. Okay. And I understand. I just I did like that they were poking fun at crazy religious.
Oh, right. At the fundamentalists. Well, you can't laugh at them and not laugh at Republicans too, Spencer.
That's fair.
So, Bloodshot number 3. This book is now it's really taken off.
Yeah, and I don't know if I gave it as fair of a shot as Armstrong and Harbinger and the others.
Yeah.
But man, this book, I liked it more than Archer and Armstrong this week.
Yeah, I would agree. Even though Archer and Armstrong is a strong issue.
Oh yeah.
It's only number 2, but I'm really liking it. But this, because we were kind of like, well, Bloodshot's good. Is this going to be picking up steam? And it is.
And it is.
It's going places now, and it's cool. We're getting Groovination across the nation.
Yeah.
He's kind of figuring out who he really is.
Yeah.
Or what he is, and he's not liking it. And people are coming after him, trying to take him out.
Right.
Not really succeeding. I'll just say that. Really great book.
Yeah.
It's one of my it's one that of my favorites now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do we have? Harbinger. We have
Exo Man of War. And Bloodshot and Archer and Armstrong.
Right.
Ninjak's going to be in the next issue of.
Oh, that's right.
Of Exo.
Yeah.
And then in November we're gonna get Shadow Man, that new book.
That's I'm thinking about picking that one up.
Yeah,
because it seems like I've only gotten the back of the book's introduction to him.
Oh yeah, and we haven't even gotten preview
right
of the issues yet. But you're seeing some of that art and stuff.
Yeah.
I think in some of the old Valiants that I gave you, there should be at least house ads for Shadow Man.
Yeah, I think so.
The ongoing. So at some point, that was a book that I never could get into. I'm glad that, I didn't realize he was a black character back with it in the 90s.
Oh.
Because I never really got into the book, but I would see it and I'm like, okay, I don't know what.
Right.
Yeah. But
isn't that really?
This guy really looks like a brother. The other guy they gave him, the old Shadow Man, he looked like he had Milli Vanilli hair. And this guy, doesn't look like it's like 1990 MTV Pop.
Right.
So,
buy these Valiant books. They just relaunched and they've been awesome so far.
Yeah. Oh, and now they're going to start putting out trades of the classic Valiant stuff. The Bloodshot Volume 1. Collecting the first 8 issues of the original Bloodshot.
Hardcover.
Coming out in a hardcover. I know, it's like, that's going to be like, painful in the wallet.
Right.
Hopefully they'll come out in a paperback.
Yeah.
But those would be cool because, a lot of those old Valiant books, they're harder to come by. Later in the runs, not so much, but... But yeah. So yeah, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, that was our last book.
Wow, we just whipped through the show today.
We were worried.
We were going to go over. But I'm very excited about, randomly, that Doctor Who started up last week.
It did.
Yes! So, and what a great episode we had. That was loads of fun with the Daleks. So by the time this show airs, though, people wasn't it great, the dinosaurs on the spaceship, which is coming on tonight for us.
Yeah, it's cool dinosaurs, right?
Yeah, I'm really hoping. I'm sure it's gonna be loads of fun. But anyway, that's the show I think for this week.
Our nerddom knows no bounds.
So hey, we still have that email.
We do. comic.reflections@gmail.com.
And once again, please, look us up on Facebook and like us and be our pals and tell people about us. I think we're finally going to get on iTunes very soon. We're like technologically not advanced. So, well, I think we're finally figuring that out. So, anyway, that's for the show for the week.
Yeah.
And we will see you again, or you'll be hearing us again.
See ya.
Okay, bye. Again, terrible at endings.